Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, and welcome back to another episode of Tank Talks. We learn everything about cars and Jesus. And I am your host, Marcus Snyder, better well known as Tank. And I want to welcome you back to another episode 2 on our series about gratitude. We're going to hop right in here. I hope you're still riding high from our first episode of diving into the world of Psalms. If you connected with last episode's message, episode 2 is about to blow your mind even more. And remember, we learned that Psalms are like ancient hits, songs, poems, capturing intense emotions and turning them into incredible songs and poems. All month, we're turning our spotlight on the theme of gratitude in the book of Psalms. Now, like we said last episode, gratitude is one of those words that we all understand, right? But it's still hard to put into words. It's hard to define. Sometimes we mistakenly think that gratitude is a feeling, and gratitude might make us feel a certain way, but it's way more than just that. It's more than just an emotional response. The dictionary says gratitude is the quality of being thankful, readiness to show appreciation for and to return kindness. Now, gratitude is a choice. It's a mindset. It's a discipline to pay attention to the little things in life. It's also like a muscle. It needs to be exercised. And when it's exercised, it grows. But what's so interesting about this gratitude muscle is that the more you use it, the more you feel like expressing gratitude. It's like a ball rolling downhill. It gains momentum the longer it rolls. One of the ways we learn to develop the discipline of gratitude is through worship. Last episode, we learned that true gratitude is recognizing who God is and what He has done and what He is doing in our lives. And when we focus on God this way, that attitude of gratitude grows in us. It spills over into our lives. Worship is one way that gratitude overflows in our lives. All series, we're studying the book of Psalms. And let's see what tonight's psalm has to say about gratitude and worship. We're going to be reading Psalm 95, 1 through 7. Come, let us sing to the Lord. Let us shout a joyful to the rock of our salvation. Let us come to Him with thanksgiving. Let us sing psalms of praise to Him. For the Lord is God, a great King above all gods. He holds in His hands the depths of the earth and the mightiest mountains. The sea belongs to Him, for He made it. His hands formed the dry land too. Come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Lord our Maker. For He is our God. We are the people He watches over the flock under His care. If only you would listen to His voice today. From this psalm, it's pretty clear that gratitude and worship are connected. We're going to walk through these verses together. Verse 1 through 2 say, Come, let us sing to the Lord. Let us shout joyfully to the rock of our salvation. Let us come to Him with thanksgiving. Let us sing psalms of praise to Him. You know that feeling you get when your favorite song comes on and you can't help but sing along? That's the picture I see when reading this verse. Singing and shouting and making music is like giving a shout out to God, celebrating that He has saved us. Now, verse 3 through 5 says, For the Lord is a great God, a great King above all gods. He holds in His hand the depths of the earth and the mightiest mountains. The sea belongs to Him, for He made it. His hands formed the dry land. Now, these verses remind us that we're not just talking about anyone, just any Joe off the side of the street. We're talking about the Creator of the universe, the King of kings, the Lord of lords. God made the deepest parts of the earth and the tallest mountains. He's not just a big deal, he's the biggest deal. Gratitude takes on a whole new meaning when we realize who we're thanking, the one who created everything. Created you, created me, created my parents, created the people that designed everything that you walk and breathe and use. Like right now, everything I'm using to create this show, God has orchestrated it to happen. So I'm able to reach all of you out there. So, verse 6 says, "Come, let us worship, bow down, let us kneel before the Lord our Maker." Now, have you ever seen something that took your breath away? That's what the psalmist is saying. He's talking about showing respect to the one who deserves it. This act of worship, humility, is a way of recognizing how great God is and how thankful we are. And finally, verse 7 says, "For he is our God, we are the people he watches over, the flock under his care." If only you would listen to his voice today. God is the biggest deal, but he's not some far-off figure. He's right here with you. He's near us. God is the God of the universe, but he is also our God, right? Like a shepherd looking after his sheep. And guess what? He is speaking to us. The psalmist encourages us to really pay attention to what God is saying. So, what's the takeaway from these verses of wonderful or worshipful gratitude? We must sing from the heart, recognize the incredible Creator, show humility, and tune in to what God is saying. Gratitude is like dancing through life with joy and connection. Gratitude is eternal and it overflows outward into our lives. Worship is the overflow, and worship connects us to gratitude. As we close out in this episode today, let's remember that gratitude isn't just about saying thanks. It's about making thankfulness a part of our everyday lives. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time on Tank Talks.